Hi, my name is Ben Tchoubineh from Phoenix TS, and we're here at the amazing CIC 2023 in San Diego, California, CMMC specific event. And I'm here with one of the organizers and an amazing individual and a great friend, Jim Goepel. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for coming. This is great.
Jim is the co-founder of the CMMC Information Institute, and also served with me as one of the founding members of the board of directors of the CMMC AB. So tell me about the Information Institute. What is the mission of the Information
So
Institute?
we're a 501c nonprofit organization where our goal is to help educate, especially small and medium businesses, about CMMC, CUI, all of the confusing stuff that's out there. When we were on the board together, I saw that there was a lot of misinformation that was promulgated by people who wanted to either sidetrack the CMMC program or just to make things seem more confusing so that they could take all the money.
Yeah.
And so the idea was to create a nonprofit that would actually put either free or very low cost information out for everybody, give them good resources, make sure that they have the information they need to get compliant.
Okay, what do you have out there so far?
So we have a very extensive, some people say too extensive, but we have a very extensive Excel spreadsheet that will automate your SSP creation. It'll do your gap analysis. You can do everything against it. We have if you go through 800, 171 or CMMC, you'll see that they ask for lists of different things. We went through and actually grabbed all those lists and made forms for them so you know what kinds of information you should collect, trying to make it really easy. We have articles about various topics. In fact, I had somebody today come up to me and say, I read your article on CUI. I was surprised about this, but it was very helpful because all of a sudden light bulbs went off. So we try to publish all sorts of information, again, give you resources that are available, hopefully trusted information from reputable sources. It's actually not just me. We have a couple other authors who publish there too. So we're trying to really make things as accessible as we can.
That's incredible. That's really, really great. Well, certainly for a new industry, newish industry, as this ecosystem, the CMMC ecosystem, it's absolutely necessary. So, and you're also one of the organizers of this event, and you can hear in the background, I mean, it's just incredible. The activity, the energy, the information, the people speaking. I just spoke with Katie Arrington, and it was just really, and it's a lot of people back there. You organized it. Why San Diego?
So everything seems to happen in DC.
Yeah.
And I lived there for a number of years, and it is the hub for a lot of government contracting, but there's also the rest of the world outside of the Beltway. And so we really wanted to make sure that this was accessible to other people. And West Coast specifically, I haven't seen a lot of conferences on the West Coast. So we wanted to make sure that there was really access for people, small manufacturers, others in the LA and San Diego area specifically. There are a lot of them. DoD spends billions of dollars, literally billions of dollars a year in this region.
Yep.
So we wanted to make sure, again, consistent with our mission of getting information to people, we wanted to put this in their backyards, make it so they didn't have to fly across the country, spend all that extra money just to learn these things. We brought some of the best speakers that we could find to talk about timely, important topics and make sure that it's all accessible to them.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm having a blast. We're meeting all kinds of great people and really movers and shakers within the industry and the ecosystem. And I think meeting a lot of these guys, I mean, it just seems to me like the future is bright, right? Although with all the rulemaking and, it seems like CMMC is dragging its feet, but I think that there's a lot of momentum now and a lot of industry involvement. What are your thoughts about where CMMC is going and the future of this ecosystem?
So I actually think it's brilliant that DoD is coming out with what they call a notice of proposed rulemaking. They had two different options. It could be the notice of proposed rulemaking, or they could do an interim rule. With the interim rule, it goes into effect sooner, sort of. There's a whole process where it has to be refined and all this kind of stuff, and so it's never really that firm. The difference, so it actually could drag out the implementation process longer. With the notice of proposed rulemaking, it goes through this whole, it's a longer drawn out process on the DoD side, but once it's done, it's done. And it can go into every contract immediately. And it's not like contractors could say, we didn't know this was coming. Oh my God, slow everything down. We need more time. This has been coming for forever. They saw the notice of proposed rulemaking. They got 6+ months at least to implement everything, and they've already been on notice anyway. So
There's no excuse.
it's like your time is running out if you're not paying attention to this stuff, if you're not compliant.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
Brilliant. It's
I
a word.
really think it was a
word. You heard it here first, guys.
I think it was a very strategic move.
Yeah. And you know, it minimizes a lot of the pitfalls that could occur.
Absolutely.
You know, for the DoD.
It takes a lot of the regulatory stuff that could have resulted in lawsuits. It could have resulted in all sorts of things. Nope, they are walking all the right steps that they need to do from a regulatory perspective. They have gone through all the right hoops, and so when it's time, it's time.
That's good to know. What do you think are the chances of this thing being more than a DoD regulation and for it to become a federal regulation? I mean, we can't see the future, but what are the chances?
I think it actually becomes more than just a federal regulation. We're already seeing state and local governments paying attention to it and starting to ask how they can get involved. We're actually seeing insurance companies, we're seeing other organizations who are starting to look at CMMC as the de facto certification. There are a couple other cybersecurity certifications that you can get out there, ISO 27001, SOC 2 Type 2. But if you look at their adoption, there's maybe 20, 30,000 companies in the nation who have those certifications, which is great. CMMC, we're talking about 80,000, at a minimum, 80,000 companies are expected to get CMMC certifications, and it's probably going to be more like 100 to 150,000 companies. We're going to completely dwarf all the other certifications that are out there, and it becomes the de facto standard that everybody needs to have. And if you look at the requirements in it, so that sounds scary that you might need to have this, if you look at the requirements, the vast majority of them are things that most normal companies should be doing every day. There are some that, okay, maybe if you're not a DoD contractor, maybe you could let go, but honestly, most of them are best practices today. So if you're building a cyber program, you should already be following all of these things anyway.
Well, my friend, thank you very much.
My
That's
pleasure.
actually very clarifying.
Always my
Appreciate
pleasure.
it. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
That's Jim Goepel, guys. Till next time. See ya.